Welcome to Suri Cheating Story, where we share true stories of betrayal in love. Our channel brings heartfelt, real-life experiences from those who have endured the pain of infidelity. Whether you're facing challenges in your own relationship or seeking to better understand the complexities of love and trust, Suri Cheating Story is the place for you. Subscribe now to explore the emotional depths in the path to healing with us. Let me tell you a story that will tug at your heartstrings and might even make you shed a tear or two. My name is Suri, and at 32 years old, I've been through more than most people in a lifetime. My husband, Jack, 38 years old, is the type of man who sees women as nothing more than baby-making machines. To him, I was useless, of no use, because I had not given him a son. "If only you would bear me a son," he growled, "I would forgive all your shortcomings. I wouldn't complain about a damn thing." But I can't. My two daughters, Lila, now 12, and Mia, 6, are all I brought into this world, and for Jack, it was a failure. One evening, after another tantrum, he pushed me hard. I stumbled out the front door and hit the ground, the cold dirt scraping my palms. Lila was standing there, her big brown eyes wide open with something I couldn't read. She had seen Dad hit me before, too many times for a child her age. But this time, the look in her eyes was different. Crying, yes, but steady. My heart pounded thinking of all the ugly things she had to witness in her short life. Then I saw what she was holding in her trembling hands, and it felt like the ground moved beneath me. She stepped forward, her voice gentle but determined. "Here, Mom, take this." Jack was still outside, pacing and muttering. I still don't know what Lila brought me, only that it was small, wrapped in a rag, and heavy with meaning. Watch this story till the end to find out, guys. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. Let's dive in. I guess you could say I've never been a perfect daughter myself. Growing up, my parents were very poor, and maybe that's why they married me to Jack at the age of 20 without any hesitation. He was very charming back then. Tall, broad-shouldered, with a smile that could fool anyone. But that attraction quickly faded when he realized I wasn't the boy factory he'd been hoping for. His mother, Linda, was no help either. She kept nagging him, saying I was a damn person because I only flirted with girls. When Lila was born, I vowed not to let her grow up feeling like I did, unwanted, invisible. So 6 years after Mia was born, I had to fight tooth and nail to get Lila into school. Jack doesn't care much, but Linda, she would scoff. What will she do with a 10th grade diploma? Marry her. But I have bigger dreams for my girl. Lila was a star, top of her class from the start. I want her to go all the way, college and everything. However, the pressure at home still weighs heavily on her. She saw Jack screaming at me every night, calling me barren because I couldn't get pregnant again after Mia. One day I argued, "If I am barren, how can I give you 2 daughters?" He didn't miss a beat. "A woman who only has daughters can be infertile. Without sons, you are incomplete." His words were profound, but I kept quiet for the children's sake. Lila, she was my rock, once asked me, "Do you love Mom?" I struggled to find the answer. "Honey, men love differently. He buys us groceries, right? Don't say that to him, okay?" She nodded, but I could tell she wasn't buying it. Things get worse when Jack starts relying on Linda to solve his problems. One morning, his neighbor and cousin Tara stopped by. Tara is the girl Linda wants Jack to marry. Beautiful, with 4 muscular boys to her name. Linda won't shut up about it. "If you had chosen Tara, you would have had a son now. Not this mess," she would hiss. I replied half-jokingly, "Tara is out of reach, but she has a sister. Why not her?" Jack turned it off quickly. "She's only 20, Mom. Fear God. But Linda isn't done yet. Just say yes, I'll talk to my sister. We can arrange it. Divorce Suri. She's useless anyway." My stomach dropped. Jack hesitated, then said, "I can't. She's the girl's mother. What will happen to them?" This was the first time I heard him care about Lila and Mia, even just a little. Usually he doesn't notice what they've eaten or if they're sick. I handle it all. Sewing clothes for them from scraps my parents send. Staying up all night when the fever hits. Then he turned to me, cold as ice. "Maybe we should go see a doctor. If they say you can't have a boy, I'll give you a year. If you don't, I'll marry Tara's older sister, Kelly. Their family only has boys." I can't help it. "Oh, really? So Tara and Kelly's baby has a different father or what?" The sarcasm slipped through, and it was my mistake. Jack's hand shot up, and the next thing I knew, I was lying on the ground outside, my cheek burning. Lila walked up right then, home from school, and what she held in her hand gave me chills. I grabbed her hand and pulled her inside. "What do you have there?" I whispered, my panic rising. She looked up, her eyes bright. "Mom, Dad, stop yelling. This is what he wants." My knees buckled as I looked inside the rag, a tiny boy squirming. I don't know where she found the boy, but I know we're in big trouble. My hands trembled as I stared at the boy Lila had brought home, his small face peeking out from the rag she wrapped him in. I could barely breathe. "Where did you get the boy?" I hissed, keeping my voice low so Jack wouldn't hear. Lila's eyes were wide, innocent. "Mom, I saw the boy in the bathroom at school. I thought, Dad was always angry because you didn't give him a son. This should make him stop, right?" My heart sank. She's 12 years old, smart as a whip, but still a child who doesn't understand the chaos she's just caused. Jack remained outside, kicking gravel and cursing silently. I had to think quickly. "If your dad asks where I am, tell me I went to her house," I told her, grabbing the baby and rushing out the back door. My mother's place was only a house away, a shabby little shack, but at that time it was my lifeline. She opened the door, her gray hair tied back, and was stunned when she saw what I was carrying. "Suri, what the foot?" she started, but I interrupted. "Don't ask. Mom, take the boy. I have to go." She nodded, her hands shaking as she took the package. "It looks like a storm is heading your way." "Honey," she said, her voice heavy. "It's already here," I replied. "Lila brought it here." I don't stay to explain. I ran home, praying Jack wouldn't notice anything unusual. When I got there, Lila was still in the room, staring at the floor as if she had done something terrible. "Change your clothes and eat," I barked, trying to keep my voice calm. Then I heard the front door creak open and my stomach turned. It wasn't Jack. It was Ellie, my nosy neighbor. Ellie is 35 years old, loud and the type of woman who makes a living by gossiping. She knows everything about everyone, and she has made it her mission to spread Jack's fiery temper. "He's crazy, Suri," she said half a block away. "Beating you over a boy, how pathetic." I never asked her to brag, but there she was, walking into my kitchen like she owned it. "Are you busy?" she asked, plopping down on the table. "Yeah, just a little," I mumbled, rubbing the pot so hard I almost scratched the bottom. She grinned, leaning closer. "I have news that will shock you. The all-girls school that Lila attends? That school is about to close. Big scandal." I froze. "What, Mia's there too, you know," she waved. "Oh, I don't care. Mia failed 2 classes last semester. Let it be over. Then I can marry her." I narrowed my eyes. "What happened at school?" Ellie's grin widened. "A big mess. Something fell in the bathroom. My daughter told me everything. You know Mrs. Carter, the science teacher? She went in there, started screaming, then ran to the principal and said something was moving. Everyone panicked, thought it was a snake or God knows what. But when they checked, nothing. Some people said she was crazy. Others thought whatever it was had escaped." My chest tightened. I know exactly what it is, or rather who it is, but I played dumb. "What do I think that is?" She smirked. "Turn on the kettle and I'll spill it. I'm all dirty." I turned on the stove, my mind spinning. "Go on," I said, trying to calm down. "It's not a creature," Ellie said, lowering her voice as if sharing a state secret. "It was a baby, a real live baby in the bathroom. Mrs. Carter was freaked out because it was lying there, helpless. When they turned around, it was gone. Boom. Now everyone is whispering that it was some girl's dirty little secret. Someone at that school got pregnant and abandoned the baby. Can you believe it?" My hands became sticky. That baby is currently upstairs at my mother's house, and Lila took him home thinking she would settle our family down. I forced a smile. "A wild guess. Why did that happen?" Ellie shrugged. "Who knows? Some teenager messed up, too embarrassed to admit it. But they were smart, cruel, sure, but smart. Throw it and run. The question is, where did it go? Who took it? The whole town is buzzing." I gripped the counter, praying she wouldn't connect the dots. If Jack finds out, he'll flip out. Say Lila doesn't need a school like that and drag her out. "There won't be any girls there after this," Ellie continued. "Have you heard anything like that?" I shook my head. Not since I was little. One time a girl ran away from our old school dormitory. It was a big deal back then. She nodded. Exactly. This place is going downhill. Pull Lila out, Suri. The other schools are too far away, I get it. But this one is tainted. She stood up. Gotta run. 2 more houses to go before dark. Oh, and I'll get the call after Easter. Then there's no more to do. She laughed and walked away, leaving me in a state of fear. That baby wasn't some stranger's embarrassment. It was in my life now, and Lila didn't know where she started. The second Ellie walked out, I felt suffocated. The boy Lila brings home isn't just some random kid. He's the boy in the school bathroom, the one everyone is whispering about. My sweet, innocent 12-year-old daughter thought she had found a way to deal with her father's anger, a way to stop the screaming and hitting. She thought a son would make Jack happy, make him love me again like he did before Lila and Mia came along. Her heart was in the right place, but she didn't see the firestorm she had caused. If anyone found out she had taken that baby, they would assume the worst, that it was hers. A 12-year-old with a child? Shame will bury us. I hid that boy at my mother's house, thank God. My sister-in-law, Jenna, also lives there. She just had a baby, so they have diapers, bottles, and supplies. Jenna is a saint. She didn't ask too many questions, just welcomed the boy in and treated him like her own son. But I can't shake the fear. What if Ellie sniffs the truth? She'll tell it to the whole town, and Jack, God help us, will lose his mind. I kept praying no one saw Lila sneak that kid out of school. If they had, we'd be toast. I tiptoed up to Lila's room, my heart tense. She was sitting on the bed staring at her hands, looking guilty as sin. What are you doing? I asked, more harshly than I intended. It's nothing, Mom, she muttered, standing up quickly when she saw me. I took a deep breath. Do you know anything about this baby? Her eyes darted away. I don't know, Mom. I just saw that boy there, alone, and I took him home. I thought it would make Dad treat you better. Her voice cracked, and I lost it. I grabbed her shoulders and shook her gently. Lila, do you know how serious this is? I screamed, and before I could stop myself, my hand shot straight up and slapped her cheek. She shivered, tears welled up in her eyes, and I hated myself for it. She sobbed all night, curled up in bed, chokingly said, Mom, I only did it for you. I want Dad to stop making you cry. I hugged her tightly and whispered, if anyone asks, you say you don't know anything. Understand? She nodded, but I could tell she was breaking inside. I knelt all that night praying for a way out, asking God to keep this mess from swallowing us whole. Jack staggered in late, smelling of beer, and saw me lying on the floor. What about extra prayers now? He spoke with a lisp. Want another one? The doctor won't come tomorrow. I'll take you when he gets back. We'll see what's wrong with you. I looked up, exhausted. Doctors can't fix fate. Jack, only God can. I'm fine with what I have. He smirked. So are you okay with me getting married again? I sighed. You don't need my approval. Anyway, just do what you want. Just think about the girls first. The first time, he didn't come back. He just stared at me and went to sleep. It was the quietest he'd had in years. Morning rushes by like a freight train. I was washing the dishes when the doorbell rang, and there they were, the school principal, Mr. Hayes, and 2 uniformed policemen. My heart dropped into my stomach. They know. They had to. Lila must have been spotted with that baby, and now they think she did something unthinkable. I opened the door, my hands shaking. Correct? I groaned. Mr. Hayes adjusted his glasses. All business. We need to talk about Lila. It's urgent. I swallowed hard. If it's about her, why the police? The policeman, a stocky guy with short hair, walked over. It's serious, ma'am. I wanted to run away, but my feet felt glued to the floor. That night, Lila brought the baby home flashed through my mind. The worst day of my life. Then I braced myself for the explosion, but he didn't even look at me. He strode forward as calmly as possible and faced them. Gentlemen, what is this about? He said, motioning them inside. I followed, legs like jelly, and spilled everything. Lila found the baby. I hid it at Mom's house. The policeman's eyes narrowed. Your girl was seen taking that kid away. Where is she now? We need to talk to her. She's ruined the school's reputation. We'll expel her to save face. One bad apple, you know. Mr. Hayes nodded. You said she was a good child, Suri. This is exactly what your good child did. I held my breath waiting for Jack to explode. But what does he do next? I never saw it coming. I stood there in the living room, my heart pounding so hard it felt like it was going to burst out of my chest. The police and Mr. Hayes were glaring at us, throwing out words like reputation and deportation, while Jack just stood against the wall, arms crossed as if evaluating them. I had just confessed everything. Lila found the baby, I hid it at Mom's, and I was sure Jack would lose it right then and there. I braced myself for yelling, blaming, maybe even a swing at me in front of everyone. But he didn't move. Instead, he stood up straight, looked the officer straight in the eye, and said, "You're in my house, accusing my daughter without evidence. What do you have to say she gave birth to this child? Go to the hospital right now and settle this." My jaw dropped. Jack, the guy who called me Baron and pushed me, is standing up for Lila. He turned to me, his voice even. "Suri, take the baby from your mother. Wrap it tightly. Tell Lila to come too." I nodded, too stunned to argue, and ran next door. Mom gave me the clean, well-fed baby boy wearing one of Jenna's newborn outfits. The boy looked so innocent, cooing softly, oblivious to the mess he had caused. Lila followed behind me, head down as we walked back. We got in Jack's truck and drove to the hospital, the police and Mr. Hayes tailing us like hawks. During the trip, I kept glancing at Jack. His knuckles were white on the steering wheel, but his face remained calm. Too calm. I can't understand him. Is he crazy? Play a game? At the hospital, they ran tests very quickly. DNA samples from me, Lila, even Jack and the baby. We sat in that sterile waiting room for what seemed like forever. Lila fidgeting beside me, the police pacing back and forth. Finally, the doctor walked out with a clipboard in hand. "There is no biological match," he said flatly. "This child is not related to anyone in your family." Mr. Hayes' face was as red as a beetroot, as if he had just been slapped. The cop scratched his head, muttering, "Well, damn." Jack didn't miss a beat. He stepped forward, his voice like steel. "If anyone speaks ill of my girls again, they'll answer to me. We found this kid, and we'll figure out what to do with him. You're done here. Go away." The policeman shrugged. "Okay, until we find the real parents, you can keep it. We'll let you know." They trudged out, Mr. Hayes looking like he wanted to crawl under a rock. I stood there holding my baby, still processing. Jack had just closed them, protecting us, when I thought he was going to throw us under the bus. We arrived home, and I absent-mindedly waited for the other shoe to drop. Of course, Linda is there looking for gossip. "What's wrong with the police?" she asked, looking at the baby in my arms. Jack waved to her. "Found a child. Take care of it. That's all you need to know, Mom." She was angry but didn't push. Miracle of miracles. Night fell, and I was rocking him in the kitchen when Jack walked in. I was tense, ready for the storm. Lila was sitting nearby, playing with her nails, but Jack didn't scream. He knelt down in front of her, held her hand, and said gently, "Hey, little girl, why did you bring the baby home?" His voice wasn't angry. It was gentle, almost broken. Lila's lips trembled. "Dad, you're always mad at Mom. Mom always cries because of him. Dad said he wanted a son. So I thought, if I brought him back, he'd be happy. He could be my little brother." Tears rolled down her cheeks, and then, God help me, Jack's eyes got wet too. He pulled her into a tight, fierce hug and whispered, "Yes, honey. He's your little brother now. He's with us." I couldn't take it anymore. I started crying, clutching the baby to my chest. Jack looked at me, his eyes saying what his mouth wouldn't. He was done fighting me. He reached out and squeezed my hand. I collapsed even more. It was like the burden I had been carrying for so many years had disappeared. From that night on, we began to raise that boy as our own. We named him Noah, simple, powerful, a new beginning. Jack turned into a different man overnight. He would pick Noah up after work, laughing as the kid tugged on his beard. He would wrestle with Lila and Mia, buy them new shoes, make sure they had full bellies. Linda complained about it. Adopting some stranger's baby, but Jack just told me to ignore her. One day, he took me to the doctor because he was worried about my health. "You have children too close together," the doctor said. "Your body's tired. Give it time." Jack didn't push after that. "Rest, Suri," he said. We've got Noah now. No need to rush. And you know what? Since Noah arrived, the money started flowing in. Jack's job as a mechanic increased. Bigger job, better pay. He grinned and said, "This kid is our good luck charm." I watched Noah toddle toward me and giggled, "Mommy," and my heart sank. Jack had his son in a way he never expected. Sometimes you don't get what you pray for. You get it. Life with Noah has settled into something I never thought I would have, a complete family. 2 years have passed since that crazy day Lila brought him home, and now at 34 years old, I can hardly believe how things have changed. Jack, 40, isn't just playing dad to Noah, he's living it. He came home fat from the garage, picked up that 2-year-old and spun him around until they were both laughing like idiots. Lila, now 14, and Mia, 8, were treated the same. Hugs, silly dad jokes, even help with homework, something he'd never minded before. Sometimes I catch him staring at us, this gentle look in his eyes as if he can't believe he's almost thrown it all away. Money also continued to flow in. His store was thriving, and we went from making ends meet to having a small mattress. He teased, "Noah is our golden ticket, Suri," and I laughed, but part of me wondered if it was true. The kid had something magical about him. Big hazel eyes, goofy smile, calling me Mom and Jack Dada, as if he had been ours from the beginning. Of course, Linda still grumbled. Raising someone else's child? For what? She would mutter, but Jack would just shrug. "The boy's mine now, Mom. Let's deal with it." For once, I didn't care what she thought. We were happy, really happy, and that was enough. But the past has a way of coming back, right? The school does not let children fall. After we brought Noah in, the police searched everywhere, trying to find his biological parents. They took his DNA sample at the hospital that day, and I guess it will be in some file somewhere. Then one morning, about a month ago, Lila and Mia came home from school feeling worried. "Mom, the police were there today," Lila said, her voice shaking. "They took samples from all the girls, one by one." My stomach turned. I know what they're after. The truth about Noah. Jack was at work, so I gave him a quick call. "They're digging again," I said, barely able to keep my composure. He sighed over the phone. "Let them dig. The boy's ours now. They can't take him." But I'm not so sure. That night I couldn't sleep, imagining a stranger appearing to snatch Noah out of my arms. The boy was my son, ours, and the thought of losing him made me sick. A week later, the police returned, and this time they had answers. Thank God Jack was home, and he met them at the door while I held Noah tight on the couch. "We found a match," the officer said, flipping through a notepad. "The mother was a girl from school. She's gone. The family fled town right after we tested her." I blinked, trying to process it. "Who?" I groaned. The police glanced at Jack. "Ellie's daughter, Cassie, 16 years old. Ellie, my foul-mouthed neighbor Ellie, who sat in my kitchen 2 years ago, spread gossip about that baby in the bathroom as if it were a juicy soap opera. Cassie skipped school, always following behind her mother with the sullen frown of a teenager. It hit me like a brick. Ellie was so busy complaining about other people's filth that she missed the mess in her own backyard. Her girl got pregnant, dumped Noah in that bathroom, and left him for dead. Lila found that boy, brought him with us, and now he's here, our son, while Ellie's family has run away like thieves in the night." Jack's jaw clenched. "They're gone." "Where?" The policeman shrugged. "No leads. They left their rent overnight, didn't even pack much. Landlord said they owed a year's rent. Disappeared." I stared at Noah, giggling inside and feeling chills. Karma is so funny, isn't it? Ellie spends her days bringing people down, causing trouble, and now her baby's secret is exposed to her. She never kept quiet about my fights with Jack, his obsession with a boy, anything she could turn into a story. Meanwhile, Cassie is falling apart, and Ellie doesn't realize it until it's too late. Jack sat down next to me after the police left, running his hand through his hair. "Ellie's daughter? Appearance." I nodded, still stunned. "She doesn't know. Jack, the whole time she was criticizing, and it was her daughter." He smirked bitterly. "She's probably in bigger trouble now." We didn't say much after that, just watched Noah toddle around, chasing Mia with a toy truck. Part of me feels sorry for Ellie. She's in a lot of pain, sure, but to lose everything like that? Rough. However, I cannot avoid the irony. She had spread every whisper about me, and now her family was the key point. Police said they will continue to search, but with Ellie gone, Noah is ours forever. I pulled him close, kissing his messy curls. "I'm home, man," I whispered. Jack squeezed my shoulder, and for the first time in my life, I felt like we had achieved something bigger than Ellie's gossip or Linda's nagging. Noah is our miracle, and no one can take that away. After 2 years with Noah, sometimes I still pinch myself. Now I'm 34 years old. Jack is 40 years old, and our little family is stronger than I ever dreamed. The scared, broken woman who flinched every time Jack spoke, she's gone. The man who pushed me around for the son he didn't have, he is also a memory. Nowadays, Jack is the guy who comes home with greasy hands and a grin, ready to throw Noah into the air or wrestle with Lila and Mia until they're all giggling like lunatics. Lila is 14 years old and has grown into a smart, feisty girl who still feels some guilt about that childish stunt, but she shouldn't have. 8-year-old Mia, sassy and happy, calls Noah little brother as if she were his boss. And Noah, he was 2 years old, a whirlwind of curls and mischief, toddling after me with "Mommy" that melts my heart every time. Jack calls Dada to him, and you would never guess this kid wasn't ours from day one. Linda still complained from time to time, wasting my life getting lost. But Jack quickly stopped her. "He's my son, Mom. End of story." I don't even bother to argue with her anymore. She can't touch what we built, not with her bitter words or old-fashioned nonsense. Now we have something real and it's ours. However, Ellie's disappearance left a hole in the neighborhood. After police identify Cassie as Noah's mother, her family disappears. Boom, like smoke. No forwarding address, no goodbyes. Their rental apartment is empty. Weeds grow all over the porch, and the landlord only shakes his head when asked. "Deadly beat," he muttered. "Owe me a year's rent." Ellie was always the town crier, going from house to house telling her stories. My fights with Jack, the cheater, the bankrupt. She never saw her child wallow in trouble until it was too late. Sometimes I think about Cassie, 16 years old, scared, alone with that secret. Did Ellie know before the DNA test? Did she run to protect her girl or just to avoid embarrassment? I'll never get answers, and frankly, I don't need them. Noah is with us, safe and loved, and that's what matters. The police stopped searching for a while, saying that if Ellie didn't want to be found, then she wouldn't have been found. So we kept Noah, legally ours now, and I let the past fade. I guess karma caught up with Ellie. She had built her life on bringing others down, and it had collapsed right under her feet. I'm just glad we came out the other side. Jack has changed in ways I've never seen before. Not long ago, he took me to see that doctor, worried that I was pushing myself too hard by keeping Lila and Mia so close together. "You're so tired, Suri," the doctor said. "Let's rest. No more kids for now." Jack didn't fight it. "Focus on you," he told me, completely serious. "We have Noah, the girls. There's a lot to handle. We haven't tried harder, and I'm okay with that. My health has recovered somewhat. Less exhausted, more energy to chase Noah." Jack's store also prospered. Bigger contracts, more stable cash flow. He swore it was Noah's luck, and I half believed it. The child brought this light into our lives, this joy that I didn't know we could have. Jack is more gentle now, playing with the girls, fixing their bicycles, sometimes even cooking breakfast and flipping pancakes like a pro. He would sit with Noah on his lap reading those silly picture books, and I would catch myself staring, wondering how we got here. "I want a son," I teased him once. He grinned, patting Noah's head. "I got one, right? Better than I planned. It's true, sometimes God doesn't give you what you ask for. He gives you something you didn't know you needed. So here we are, a family of 5, bound together by a twist of fate. Lila is the hero of this story, even if she doesn't see it. At age 12, my mother risked everything to save me from Jack's wrath, thinking that a boy would solve everything. She was wrong about the method, but right about the result. Noah is our glue, our second chance. I watched him stumble towards me on his chubby legs, arms outstretched, and I picked him up, breathing in that baby smell. Jack would join us, pulling Mia and Lila into a big messy hug, and it touched me. We made it. Through the battles, the tears, the chaos, we found our way. So what do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Did we do it right? Bring Noah in, build this life? Or have we messed up somewhere? If you find this story interesting and want to see more touching, tense, but meaningful situations, don't forget to subscribe to our channel today. Leave a comment with your thoughts. Share this story with your friends and remember to like the video so we can stay motivated to bring you more great and meaningful content. Thank you for watching and supporting us.